This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. And for the first time in 2021, I am joined by Brad the Blade Foster. Unfortunately, it's over Zoom, Brad, but how are you? How are things going?
Yeah, all good, mate. Same old. Just training hard and keep doing what I'm doing.
Obviously, it's different circumstances. I know you fought once previously behind closed doors. You actually was the man to bring back UK boxing during the pandemic, the first man to fight, kind of a headliner show when boxing returned. But this camp, in comparison to the beach one, what are the differences? Have you found it any easier, any more difficult because of maybe certain COVID circumstances? How have things gone?
It's just the same, really. It's you get a bit fed up, but then again, I'm still able to train. I'm still able to go to the gym. There's like the normal people out there. I'm not allowed to train or do nothing, so I'm blessed in that scenario. But yeah, you still get fed up, don't you? It's just the same thing every day. So yeah, but it's my job in it, so you move.
What have you been able to do to try and keep your mind occupied away from the gym and away from your boxing life?
Uh, I don't know, really. Just fucking get out and exercise. Get out on your bike. Bought myself a little electric scooter as well, so I've been tazzing about on that. Don't know, just anything really to keep your life active and get yourself out there. Keep your mind busy.
Before we do come on to March 26th, Brad, just kind of going back to the beach fight, have you looked back on it since we spoke? We spoke the week, or we spoke for a couple of days after your fight with him. Have you looked back on it since then? And if so, how would you assess your performance and what did you make of it?
To be honest, I didn't really watch that fight. I've seen the highlights on BT Sport. Um, it was a comfortable performance, a comfortable win, to be honest. I thought I'd get him out of there going into the fight, but James Beach's a good lad, 12 and 0, and he was tough, but he's a good lad, so I'm sure he'll go on to do big things.
Moving towards March 26th now, Alvaro Rodriguez for the IBF international title. Brad, talk to me about Alvaro. He'll be an unknown quantity to many. However, he has fought the likes of Tyro McCullough and Tommy Ward previously. So, what do you actually know about him?
He's a good game fighter. He's only lost twice, and that's been to Tyro McCullough and Tommy Ward. Um, So, he's a good fighter. They're two game fighters and they're the only people to beat him. So that means I've got to be on the game to beat him and do a job on him. He's Spanish super bantamweight champion and he's had a long time to train for this fight. So I'm expecting a very good fight. But one, I believe I'll win.
Both McCullough and the Ward fights, they went to points and both were unanimous in the favour of those two fighters. Are you the man who's going to be looking to make a statement, get that stoppage win, or is it not something you're really considering?
Of course, you're always going to look for that, aren't you? If I can get him out of there at any point in the fight, I will be doing that. I'm feeling very strong. I've started strength and conditioning, improving my explosive power. Um, so if the opportunity comes to get him out of there, I'll take it with both hands.
As I mentioned, the IBF international title on the line, Brad, is this kind of your move now to start climbing up the world rankings? Is this where we start to see you kind of try to maneuver yourself into a position to eventually challenge for one of the versions of a world title?
Yeah, of course, that's the game. I think I'm number 12 in the IBF at the minute. So, getting this IBF international title will get me up in the rankings a bit more, and then that's where we look towards the future to get one of them world titles. But let's just win this one first.
I mean, just with the British and Commonwealth titles, what's going to be your plan with those?
I'm going to keep them until I've got something to replace them. To be honest,
I mean, looking at the domestic scene, is there anybody who catches your eye who you'd like to share a ring with?
uh, I'm not looking at the domestic scene. I'm looking at bigger and better. You don't look back. You always look forward, don't you? Obviously, I've got a job to do on the 26th, so I'm just looking at Alvaro Rodriguez at the minute.
Brad, I've known you obviously for many years. We've known each other for probably 10, 15 years, going back to our kickboxing days. But one thing which I've always noticed with you, You've never been one to call people out. You've never been one to be disrespectful and what have you. Just looking at kind of the scene now, there's a lot of people who have your name on the tip of their tongue. They want to face you because you have something they want. What's it like being in that position, having people continuously calling you out, but then on the flip side, you've never really seen that side of the sport from your perspective?
That's not who I am. I don't need to trash talk and do all that shit. So I get in the ring and then I win my fights, and that's what's got me to this position. Everyone's calling my name because I've got something that they want. I've got something that's going to get their value up. So it's just business at the end of the day. It's not personal. They don't know me personally. I've got something what they all want, and that's just boxing for you.
I mean, one thing which I want to ask you about as well is obviously I know you've shared some brilliant sparring experiences in the past with the likes of Josh Warrington, Cal Yafai, amongst others. But Josh obviously recently lost to Maurizio Lara on the Matchroom show. Is that kind of just for you now, going back to your fight on March 26th? Is that just a warning for you to keep your mind focused on the task at hand because anything can happen?
I don't look at that fight. That's none of my business. Josh is a quality fighter, and yeah, it's just one of them things. I'm sure he'll be back. He'll be world champion again. I'll just focus on my fight, as you said. You can never underestimate anyone. Um, so I'm just going to get in there, do my job, and that's the win on the 26th of March.
How did you find the boxing behind closed doors aspect of it, Brad? Last time out against James, and of course, how much of a better kind of standing will you be in heading into this bout?
To be fair, I weren't really a fan of the setup last time. It's a bit weird fighting with behind behind closed doors and having no fans. But I thought that this time, like this year, 2021, the fans would be back in, but obviously not having a lockdown just before Christmas. So the job's still the same. It's one of them in it really. Hopefully, my next fight after this one, there'll be fans. But let's just get the win on the 26th, and we can move on from there.
I was going to say, Brad, how are Brad's Barmy Army doing, and how did they celebrate the beach win?
There was a couple of little parties here and there, mate. But you got to keep that all quiet. Lockdown and that.
Brad, I know you don't want to look beyond kind of Alvaro, as you've said, but have you thought about your plans for this year? How active would you like to be? And, have you got any idea as to how this year will play out for yourself?
Yeah, this year should be a good year. I've got an idea myself of what's going to happen. But my main goal, the first step is get past this Spanish, this Alvaro Rodriguez, pick up that international, and then we can move on to bigger and better things from there.
Of course, on the night that you fight, you've got the Ennis-Brown and Maxwell fight. Just to kind of clarify, do you know who's the main event? If you're co-main event, do you know where everything stands with that?
I don't really know, to be honest. Probably that being a British title for that'll probably be the main event, won't it? But that's a good fight as well, to be honest. I've seen Sam Maxwell when I was getting my weighing done, and that should be a good fight. He's fighting a good lad who's got 3 titles in it: the British Commonwealth and WBC International. So that's going to be a tasty fight. That is.
Brad, just to kind of touch on your sparring for this camp, how have you found it? How difficult has it been to get kind of a high level of sparring in, simply because of any travel restrictions that might have affected it, maybe people being cautious? How have you found trying to get high level operators in to help you out?
Well, elite boxers are allowed to train, aren't they? So the sparring's not really an issue. I've been going up Sheffield sparring Sonny Edwards, cracking fighter. Always making you think, got the skills to pay the bills. So yeah, I've had good sparring there, and it's really brought me on. Sparring someone like Sonny, he's got a lot of tricks in the book. So I've had good sparring. Yeah.
And Brad, whilst Scott, you're trying to get your thoughts on a couple of other fights which have been announced that are coming up. Canelo Saunders in May, one which many are looking forward to. Your thoughts?
Obviously, I want Billy Joe Saunders to win. He's a fellow Englishman, isn't he? But Canelo, he's just getting better and better, isn't he? But I hope Billy Joe smashes him, to be honest. I think they might overlook Billy Joe, and I reckon Billy Joe's playing that game. So when he gets in there, he's gonna shock him. You know what I mean?
And then Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, undisputed bout at 140. Brad, just to gain your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I ain't really seen that Ramirez. I know he's meant to be good, but of course Josh Taylor. That's who I think. I think he just needs that big fight to get him proper up there, and I think this may be the one.
Right, Brad, just before I let you leave and to enjoy the rest of your day, I want to leave a final word to yourself. For everybody who's going to continue to follow your journey, for everybody who will tune in on March 26th, what would you like to say to them?
Thank you for the support, and stay tuned for more explosive performances. Let's get it. So, dog. Sorry, my fucking your dog's fucking barking. She's talking for me. Yeah, so.
All right, Brad, I appreciate your time, mate. Stay safe. Good luck on the 26th, and I'll catch up with you after your fight. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Nice one.